Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to another review of Ninjago Season 9, Episode 91. The Weakest Link. So anyway, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back right after this. Alright, so anyway, first up, I've got to say this episode was pretty disappointing in some ways. Wasn't as good as 89 or even 90. It felt very slow and short. Like, very short. The ending, I didn't like the way it just cut to black, pretty much. And all that. So, out of that, I will give this episode in particular will be, I only give it a 5 out of 10 because of, a little disappointing in some of the ways of how long it was and it cutting to black in the end. So 89 is still, the best of this season, I will say. But anyway, first up, obviously, we start off at the end of the last one when Humi got, captured by the Resistance. Basically, we start off with her tied up, and if you can look at the location, you can actually see this is the same location that they were at the very beginning of the season. You remember? They start. This is the freezer area. And yeah, so basically, they're there, and Humi's being a brat. I mean, she's just so annoying. But obviously, in that saying that, they also end up getting their hands on Homie's mask of vengeance, and so Lloyd basically goes out with them, and Nia stays behind, and I bet she enjoyed that, considering Nia hates her probably even more than Lloyd, which is surprising considering Lloyd is go Heisenberg. I mean because Nia lost her boyfriend, her brother, and her friends from this because of her, so it's kind of, she would have the bigger grudge. I'm sure she enjoyed babysitting the captured person because, I know I would. So they obviously, they had their hands on the mask of thing. Now, they probably should have kept that instead of, thing. They probably could have kept that on them because then, that's one less. But anyway, they do say, in case Lloyd doesn't get his power back, that's probably the best shot. But as Mistake says, Oni masks have very dark magic, so it's not good, and yeah. Then obviously Lloyd realizes that, she wanted to be captured. Now then again, even if she wanted to be captured, she's still captured, nonetheless. Like, it's pretty easy. And so, all that. Then, later on in the episode, when we return to Ninjago after the first round, we obviously see them basically discussing outside. They're looking over the city and seeing the Oni Titan, and basically they get a plan to use Skylar to actually absorb Garmadon's power, so she can also control the Titan thing. Of course, how's she going to get close enough to touch him? Because he's seen. Now, granted, she's pretty OP already, so she had Garmadon's power. That's another thing. But also, basically, how they plan to get close is they have Mistake shapeshift into Hilmy and all that, and then, bring Scarlet to him and all that, which was a pretty good plan. But at the same time, Mistake could just take Garmadon. In reality, I mean, she's a full Oni. He's only half Oni. He's half dragon, half Oni, but he's not full Oni, so the fact that he's not full Oni, it would make Mistake actually way more powerful in reality. But we're not going to get to that. It's TV show logic. So that basically happens, and then we arrive and we see you see that Humi is not tied up, but also tied up. That's not Humi, that's Mistake, and all that. So we got two Humis right now, and Nia basically, covers her mouth so she, stops talking. She's not really, she needs to be the quiet one again. So anyway, that's basically that. we have Scarla, and basically they get on with their plan. And then, a little bit later, so this is like later again in the episode, the first round, basically, after the first round, basically, Humi is there, and she does try and, get Daryl to try and tempt Daryl to betray, but I mean, come on, Daryl is not gonna betray the ninjas. For one, he's not smart enough to, and he doesn't really, there's no way it was gonna happen. So, he jokes around, pretends to think, but also she also then escapes and leaves Daryl tied up, which is not good for business or the plan that Lloyd had. Moving on later that night, or day, or I don't know, this one takes place the night after, Humi, or Mistake as Humi, arrives with Skylar to Borg Towers, where, they head up to Galdan to give him the prisoner and all that, and so Skylar can get close enough. Now at this point, she could get closer, she could touch him, she could run up and touch him. She doesn't need to use her hands to touch him. That's just what she does. It doesn't have to be her hands to touch. Like if someone touches her with their hands, she still exhausts her power. So she could have easily got his powers by now. Obviously, also Ultraviolet kind of ruins the plan just a tiny bit, but even then, at this point, Scarlet could have just, basically got his powers from there. Like, look how close he was. Countdown's reaction time's not that fast. He's old. So anyway, at that same time, obviously, Countdown starts suspecting something and, all that. And then, if that's not bad enough, Humi comes, the real Humi comes and ruins the party. And then it ends. Now, like I said, this episode's only 5 out of 10 because of this scene. This is the end scene, and basically, it cuts to black. Like, yes, it's thing, but it's the way it ended. It just cut to black in pretty much mid-sentence. It's like, it bothered me a lot. And so, with that said, I didn't actually like this part of the episode. This episode as much as the other ones. 80 died, still my favorite. Moving on, in the first film, basically the first part of the first film is Iron Baron and his men arriving to the line where it divides both Dragon and Oni land, with the dragon heads on stones, which look awfully like the original dragon heads from the original Ninjago sets. And basically, after that, we move on to the ninjas who are basically waking up from a long night's sleep, and, they're describing how Ninjago is like to Faith. I mean, I know it's Ninjago, but Faith basically calls it Ninjago. So, it's funny. And also they're describing cake, which is Cole's favourite food, which he did give up in Season 8, but apparently when he gets home he's gonna renounce that, giving up and have cake. Granted, once you've been stranded in a desert like this, you kind of would end up wanting to have something like cake when you got home. I mean, in a God's life, if you were stranded like Cole and a thing, and you gave up cake, but then you were stranded like him or he was, and then you got home, would you have cake? Like, just to have that taste of actually home? I know I would. Also, before they leave, Faith basically trains them to use the grappling hooks, which are the hooks they use to things. And, they all try it, and at first, they're quite bad at it. I mean, it's just terrible. Well, except for Zane, who's a computer and basically uses his computing skills to completely do it correct. I mean, he's a robot. Of course, he's gonna be the best. Also, Wu ends up having to learn too, but he's the last one to learn, even though he was their sensei. He's, at the moment, hasn't got all his skills back, so he's not the best at using. So he's the last one to learn. And, they do their thing, and Wu does, obviously, give up and has a little fit and walks off. And basically this is where Kai basically inspires him not to give up. Basically mentioning some stuff from the pilot season. Now if you'll remember in the pilot season when Kai wasn't a ninja, when Wu first arrived, Kai was a blacksmith, and after he was taken, that was the only thing that made him be a ninja. And all that. So with that said, Sensei Wu was the only one who actually got him to believe in himself and be a ninja. If you remember that. So actually this was a reference to this part. And it was actually nice to see. It was like role reversed and all that. So that's what I will say I like about the season is the whole, Sensei Wu being a teen and they're basically teaching their sensei everything he taught them, and it's quite funny. The student has become the master. Anyway. So that was really nice. And then obviously, he gets it. And then after that, they run into a Stormbringer, which is, Jay's dragon from the sets. And basically, what they're doing now is, using it to basically teach Wu how to ride the dragon. So, we got this scene. He gets up there, but because he has Oni blood, although he also has dragon blood, so I don't get this. But because he has Oni blood, the dragon kind of goes nuts and breaks free and then throws him off. But he also has dragon blood, so wouldn't the dragon also smell that and first of all be confused and go, wait, why has he got blue blood? Like, really? But anyway, logic, Ninjago logic and all that. So, basically that, Wu falls to his doom, but Faith catches him. Always have faith. So yeah, and then with that done, that's basically it. Then we move on and we arrive, the next part of the first one, we arrive kind of at a mountain location where the Iron Baron and all his men have catched up to the ninjas. And basically they chase him down, and it's like the chase scene except it ends up in like a cave area. And during this, a few things happen. One, Iron Baron gets the Dragon Sword. Two, the Destiny Bounty is destroyed. And that's all. Wait, I don't know why I was going to say this. Another one. Okay, and then obviously, after that, it takes place out of the cave. They get out of the cave and the chase is still going on. Next up, also, things that will happen in this is also now the ninjas end up taking the Disnort to help them get to the dragon, firstborn dragon. Iron Baron not happy about this, so he basically, tries to get it back. Also, Faith gets captured, but before she does, she saves the ninjas from Iron Baron by pulling apart these Nords, basically separating the two pieces. And then, the Iron Baron gets the back half of it, and the ninja get the front half of it, and get to drive off. So anyway, yeah, this was a pretty short review, but I'm trying to make it a little bit faster, and all that. But I'm also trying to keep it at a certain length, because it's always good to have your videos at least 15 minutes to maximize revenues when you monetize. Just a little tip for you guys. It's always good to do at least 15 minutes. Now, this is only at 13 minutes, but hopefully I can get it up to 15 minutes. But it should be fine. But anyway, so that basically does it for this episode of this review of this episode. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check back every day for more Ninjago awesomeness and other stuff like gaming based on, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, other games for them, Lego games, all that. And yeah, so anyway, God bless and happy watching. See ya!